So, Kevin, I was
Yeah.
wondering if there's like a similarity to circle singing, maybe, right? Because there's like a circular pattern with some of the notes and how they keep coming around.
Yeah, wow. I love that you brought all that up at the same time because, you know, first I'll talk about the circular pattern. No, actually, first I'm going to show you something about the circular design of it. And then I'm going to talk about, okay, this is the Nunga Nunga out of Zimbabwe, but all the Zimbabwean beers have a circularity to their design. The reason why it's circular is because it starts on the bottom note in the middle, but then it runs this way. It goes this way, then goes this way, then goes this way, then goes this way, and then goes to the top. And comes back. And what it actually does is spiral. So here's the beginning of the spiral. And the spiral wraps around and winds up here. And it spirals back. So because it's built on a spiral, when you're playing, you're actually tended to your finger movements and your sort of like internal imagination of the instrument is more spiraler in its approach. Um, and I would say that's true with a lot of the Mbira styles out of Southern Africa is that they are spiral approach. Um, and the interesting thing about that is that a lot of those Mbira styles, at the root of their construction, is the circle of people. And the circle of people has to do with the old people's voices, the young people's voices, and the children's voices. So in this instrument here, the old people's voices are at the bottom. They're the low notes. The younger people's voices are in the middle. They're the in between notes. And the children's voices are at the top. And that is a deep concept in Zimbabwean music or South African music, or whatever, in that throughout the whole region. It's all over. But the root of it is that there's a certain kinds of music that predated Mbira music. Mbira music is very ancient; it goes back thousands of years. But there's music that predates that even, and some of the music that predates that involves circular singing and circular bamboo pipe playing. And the circular bamboo pipe playing involves people organizing themselves in a circle and playing either one bamboo, sometimes two, sometimes three, but they're organizing the music so that they understand the intervals relationship between each other and where they'll be placed in the circle and structuring the music so that people aren't playing on top of each other and so that they are constructing whole compositions that are based on this whole call and response sort of communal understanding, which is some I heard someone else call before a timeline agreement. Basically they have an agreement among themselves about where that pulse and timeline is, and also uh, how to create the polyrhythms in a group. And so the most ancient is the Venda bamboo pipe playing, and they were Venda bamboo pipe playing and Venda dancing. And this is music that really doesn't have a date; it goes back tens of thousands of years. And Venda dancing and bamboo pipe playing sort of creates this sort of understanding of interval relationships, and tuning relationships that becomes community and just how to build harmonies as a result of that. So it becomes kind of it's very interesting. South Africa is one of the few countries in the world where you walk into a room and ask somebody to sing "Happy Birthday" and everybody sings in perfect harmony without knowing each other. So there's something about this ancient sort of musicality of the culture and the ancient roots that stem all the way back to, like I said, tens of thousands of years. Bamboo pipe playing, And then circular singing. Singing is one of the sort of people often say they get the idea. They say, well, the African music is drumming, right? No, actually, African music is more singing. The biggest instrument in Africa is the voice. Drum is about 30% of the instruments in Africa, even though it's heard all over the place. And it's very important because drumming is at the essence of almost any melodic instrument too. But the main instrument of Africa is the human voice. So circle singing is something that predates probably bamboo pipe playing. I keep saying like a bamboo, you know, and this is this circle singing tradition throughout Africa as is found really all throughout Southern Africa and all throughout Central Africa, all over you. It's just really incredible. It it is the sort of like roots out of which all this other music, even Mbira music, grew out of. And so
Mm.
that's which is why you have so much community involvement, and there's
Yeah,
no such
yeah, and from what I
things
understand, it's fully participatory. It's not like
fully
our Western
participatory.
idea where some people perform and some people listen. Like everybody does all the things. Like everybody dances, everybody vocalizes, everybody drums.
You you
Right.
will never be playing Mbira or Kalimba for that matter alone
Yeah.
in Africa,
Hmm.
because if you start playing, people are in it,
Hmm.
and especially throughout Southern Africa, people are in it. They're chanting along with you. They're finding a melody that fits with what you're doing. They're in it,
Mm.
and that's ancient. That's ancient. That's something that goes back thousands, tens of thousands of years. So there's no need to say, "Hey, everybody, join in."
Yeah. You got your Hokma Sansula there
I
too.
have it.
People always ask us that original tuning was organized with that A minor with a couple of the notes repeating, and
Yeah,
I think it more in service of the spiral, like you were talking about.
yeah.
That there's two rows, and that each row has its own chord, but it also kind of creates a spiral as it goes up. So yeah, would you just talk about your